Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Infinity Saga, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, Black Widow. So I got the whole wave from ToySnowman.com. As of now, unfortunately, most of the figures have sold out. The ones that are still available are Thor, Iron Man Mark II, and the War Machine figure. The others have, of course, sold out. So make sure you guys are following me on Instagram because I'll post whenever I'm getting a shipment in from Toy Snowman to let you guys know that, hey, these are in stock, order them now. Or however the case may be. But I got mine again from ToySnowman.com. Link in the video description below, which is my referral link, which will give you a 5% off coupon code for new buyers in your Frost Reward. So make sure to check them out. ToySnowman.com, your #1 source for all your action figure needs. Not just the Hasbro Marvel Legends stuff and all the other Hasbro figures, import figures and all of that you can actually get from ToySnowman.com. So make sure to check them out. But here we have the Black Widow. This is probably the most anticipated from the wave, along with the Bruce Banner figure, because we only had one other Bruce Banner figure, and that was in an Amazon exclusive 4-pack that was, before the digital face print and all of that. Still a decent figure. I will do a comparison, but this is definitely the highlight of the figure. Now we have a version of this Black Widow figure. So back when the Winter Soldier came out, this Black Widow figure here was released. We got a couple of different versions of this figure. Essentially, we had the one from Winter Soldier, from the Winter Soldier. There was the Hasbro UK Hulkbuster set that also came with. Was it that one? Oh, that also came with a Black Widow figure. So I ended up getting one of those somehow also, so I can have a Black Widow with the two different head sculpts. And I used one for some. I like to have the Winter Soldier, and then I was using this one for what else did she make an appearance in? Iron Man 2? Yeah, but she had longer hair there. Oh, the first Avengers movie with the shorter hair that had it was a little bit wavy. So Winter Soldier, Avengers, and then Avengers: Age of Ultron had basically the same exact Black Widow figure there because it has the blue highlight. So the first few appearances of Black Widow, we kind of had a figure for. So now I have another Winter Soldier Black Widow figure, and now it throws off my collection a little bit. But this one's definitely a lot better. We get a couple of new things with this Black Widow figure. A lot of it is going to be reused. So the legs themselves are going to be used. The lower torso is the same as before, but we get a new upper torso, new arms, because those are double jointed pinless arms, and then our head sculpts are the same, but we get the digital face print on there, which makes them a little bit better. And I can't get this Age of Ultron Black Widow to stand. So this one, again, a big update, but it's still going to be unfortunate because the legs are not great on this figure. So it's got a little bit of downside to it, but I think the arms do make a huge difference. The digital face print makes a huge difference. So let's go ahead and check it out. So looking at the box, going over that, nobody cares about this. There's nothing special on the boxes like specific to Black Widow or anything. We get the Captain America Winter Soldier logo there. The bio does read, working alongside Captain America, super spy Black Widow makes a discovery that hints at a sinister worldwide conspiracy and must do whatever it takes to counteract it. And there we have it. Let's check her out. Okay, so here is the Black Widow figure out of the package, and she's okay. The updates are definitely nice, but it still leaves a little bit left to be desired. I hate the feet on this. She's got the wedge boots, and they're tiny, and it's just the legs are thin. I hate the legs. Hate, and I can't really position this foot nicely unless I turn. I don't know. The legs are no good. No good at all. In terms of accessories, she has these these Widow Stinger blast effect pieces. We've seen these before. I think the first time was with the deluxe Black Widow from the Black Widow movie in her white suit. So we got those for each of the wrists. We get fists also out of the package. She has these grip hands / trigger finger hands that don't actually have a trigger finger to properly hold the guns. So it's kind of whack a little bit. She has 2 handguns. 2 of these are okay. So I'll just kind of show you up close while I have this here. So putting the gun in her hand, as you can see there, the trigger finger does not actually go into the trigger spot. She can't actually put her finger on the trigger. It's not good. It does have the right hinge though. It has the vertical hinge, but she can't actually properly hold that gun. There's no way to like really position to where her finger is on the trigger. So that's not good. And it's the same for both hands. It's an issue, as you can see there. So that's unfortunate. We do get the 2 head sculpts, so we'll go ahead and get in for a closer look at the head sculpts while they're on the figure. Okay, so here's an up-close look at the Black Widow figure. So looking at the head sculpt, really, really nice. Even for back then, so when did the Winter Soldier movie come out? Back in 2014 or whatever it was? So even then, the head sculpt was always very, very good. Again, it's the same head sculpt. There's nothing actually different with the head sculpt. As you can see, the hair is the same. It definitely looks better now. As you can see, it's a little bit brighter. Red, it doesn't look caked on. It's not as shiny. But the head sculpt, back then, the head sculpt was really good. I mean, you know, we didn't have the digital print back then, so, you know, with just the painted faces and stuff, it was very good for the time. In fact, I would say it was probably the absolute best that Hasbro had done for actor likeness at the time. Looking at it now, it's a lot better with the digital face print. It truly is. And it's amazing, you know, the difference that in paint, you know, what it really does, because it's pretty incredible. Look, I want to darken this up a little bit because I feel like it was a little bit bright. But looking at it, as you can see, yeah, really, really, really nice. Really, really nice. And I'm going to pop off this head sculpt. Dumbbell joint there, that's not going to allow for a lot of movement. We're going to put the other head sculpt on there. So this is the curly hair version, and again, this one is pretty good as well. The digital face print really makes a difference. As you could see previously, what we had, it was a lot darker in there, but you know, the lipstick was kind of like this purple color. You know, that even then the head sculpt was pretty good at the time, but this one is definitely a lot better. And then comparing with like the Age of Ultron version, as you can see there, again, same head sculpts, but just the digital print versus the painted on face just makes an absolutely huge difference between them. But looking at the rest of the figure, we're going to take a look at, you know, the differences between this version and the previous version, and that's going to be this upper torso and the arms. The rest of the figure is actually going to be the same. As you can see, legs-wise, we get a full black bodysuit as opposed to a dark gray with black shiny boots. I hate these legs and those feet. Their feet are terrible. They're so small, and it's so hard to get her to stand. You know, these legs feel sturdy, but you know, some of them may come out gummy, or they couldn't get warped at you know, at some point. So you got to be careful with that. Looking at the torso, as you can see, the zipper did not get painted silver because they kind of, since they updated the, you know, the version where, you know, the zipper doesn't really go all the way. Not that big of a deal. We get a little bit of silver paint there on the buckle. The Black Widow, the red seems to be a little bit brighter this time around on that Black Widow logo there. She gets a shield logo on her right shoulder still, but it's a lot smaller in comparison. And then nothing on her left shoulder, and you know, I guess that was how it was, you know, at the time. A little bit weird, I guess, that it's only on the one shoulder. But we get the double jointed pinless elbows, which also includes a bicep swivel, which is nice. So those are kind of the huge differences. And then the torso, as you can see, like the previous version, how the torso was, because the skin tone was painted on, you could kind of really see the black of the plastic kind of still fade through. We don't have that issue anymore, as it looks like, you know, the whole neck piece and everything is a separate piece. We've seen that on previous Black Widow figures before. In fact, I've broken one where the neck piece completely came off the figure. So you do want to be careful with it. There, but again, the arms do make a big difference with the figure on, you know, how it's going to be able to move. The torso does have better range of motion compared to the previous ones. Not that I'm saying it's a lot, it's better, but still not great. So let's go ahead and check out that articulation now. Oh, before I get into the articulation, I forgot to touch on this because this is, how the figure was back then. So she had sculpted on guns before, which sucked at the time. Even worse now because she comes with the gun. She comes with guns. So as she holds two guns, she still has the two guns holstered on her legs, which is weird. This was always by design to where it looks like it's part of the belt, but it allows for movement with the leg. So just a heads up on that. That's why it's kind of like that. And again, because these are the same exact legs, that's kind of how the design went. Okay, so articulation for Black Widow. That, as you saw when I swapped out the heads, the head is on the dumbbell joint, so you're not going to actually get a whole lot of motion in there. If you could get a pivot, not a whole lot, because the hair just really won't allow for it. She won't be able to look up. She really won't be able to look down either with this head sculpt. Let's switch them around, I guess, and we'll see if this one allows for a little bit more. Yeah, no, not really. She can look down a little bit with this head sculpt. She's definitely not going to be able to look up because the hair just hits the back of the head there. You can get a little bit more movement, like swivel-wise in there. This collar piece is a little soft, so it kind of hits the hair and can kind of move around with it. So that's, the head motion there. Her arm can go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel, which is nice. Double jointed pinless elbow, gives you that much bend there, which is quite nice. Wrist swivel. The trigger finger hands have a vertical hinge, which is nice. The fists have the standard horizontal hinge on there. The upper torso, again, doesn't allow for a lot of motion, but definitely more than the previous version. So she could tilt to her left that much. She could tilt to her right that much there. Is that... Yeah, that much there on the right. Going back is extremely little. Coming forward, extremely little, basically non-existent. It's just, yeah, there's like not even worth mentioning, to be honest with you. Swivel at that diaphragm cut. One thing I'm noticing now a little bit is the upper torso is very smooth compared to the textured bottom portion. It would have been nice if some of that texture matched, but I mean, like on the back, it's all smooth here, but in the front, there's just so much texture going on that it's kind of weird with that upper torso. Just, noticing that right now as well. The legs go out that far apart. They're a little stiff, so you want to be careful there. You got the upper thigh cut in there, double jointed knee with pins, because again, reused legs there. No calf swivel or anything like that. The foot hinges down a little bit. You get some hinge up. Ankle pivot. Peg holes at the bottom of the feet. They're terrible feet, though, so just a heads up on that. I hate them. Leg kicks out that much and goes back actually quite a bit, as you can see there. So, yeah, the figure, we do get more range of motion with that torso, but not a lot. The legs just are frustrating, because the feet are so small. The legs are very thin, which isn't so much a problem, but the feet being too small really makes her, posing her around a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so for our side-by-side comparisons, you can see the all-black suit does look really nice as opposed to like the dark gray of the previous versions that we got. It was hard enough to get her to stand. Now I got these other ones falling. But the black, again, does look a whole lot better. The arms make a massive difference with this figure because single jointed elbows just did not give the proper range that you would want, especially from a spy, right? Work using guns and things like that. So it makes a huge difference. The digital face print changes the look completely, where you think it's a new head sculpt when it's actually the same one. It's not different. It's the exact same. So it makes a huge difference. The legs are still a big frustration, as you can see, right? I didn't touch anything. I didn't move. It just falls. So I wish they would have updated the figure completely. Would have been nice. Now, that's not what Hasbro tends to do, right? They tend to reuse wherever possible, and we see a lot of that in this wave, like all of it in this wave. I'll have to double check on what's truly new out of this wave. The only things that I know of are going to be Bruce Banner's head sculpt. and the upper torso and arms to this Black Widow figure. Otherwise, I think the entire wave is going to be complete reuse and repaints in some way. The Infinity Saga line is something that I like. It's great for newer collectors that are coming in that don't have these previous MCU figures. You know, there's new collectors all the time. There's new fans of the MCU all the time, right? As kids grow up, become adults, for adult collectibles, or even teenagers, kids that want these figures and stuff that that didn't like the movies when they had originally come out or weren't there when they came out, and then are discovering the MCU later on and can go back and say, I wish I had a Black Widow figure from Captain America the Winter Soldier. Because let's face it, that's the best MCU movie, right? You know, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, you can argue those. But Civil War and Winter Soldier among the top, right? I would argue probably top 5 of anybody's MCU ranking. So to go back and get a Black Widow from that movie, you know, I think it's awesome for a lot of newer collectors. You know, I already had one, so I need one. You know, I don't know. And then, you know, Stealth Strike Captain America, it's going to be cool that people are going to be able to get, you know, a newer version of that. That's still the original there. Not that the new one's going to be much different. But, you know, it gives newer collectors an opportunity there. So, you know, these are going to be easy passes for folks, you know, because I'm sure a lot of comments are going to be like, pass, no MCU comic stuff. I get it, right? But there's space for all collectors, MCU, comic alike, people that do both, whatever the case may be. You know, those opportunities are there. So this just gives people another chance. And it's cool, and you know, a decent little update. So I know that this is definitely going to be kind of the most popular from the wave, my assumption. But you know, we shall see. You guys, let me know down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this Black Widow figure? Is it one that you're picking up, or are you going to pass on? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.